Time you switch pod. The boys are back. How are
Yes,
you, Chris?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coders, look, I'm I'm all right. The result was okay, from a Sharks perspective, but I'm not happy, and I'll just say Mr. Mpumelelo Dludla on X is right. I must be disgruntled. I'm disgruntled, I'm not happy. But anyway, how are you doing?
I'm good myself, good myself. The Dan Carters of podcasting here to give you our opinions, our
Mhm.
flagrant takes, some disgruntled takes. Yeah, most of it is gonna center around the SA derby that was this weekend. And for me,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a strange situation because
Mm.
there was an attempted robbery, but also the robber got robbed. The robber got robbed. So I
The
don't
rubber
know.
got robbed, dog.
Yeah, so when the robber was in handcuffs on his way out, then they said no, but that phone in his pocket is also ours, but it wasn't even yours. So I don't know because
I
I'm feeling like the Stormers could have taken it at the end.
Yeah.
I feel like that call at the end was harsh. Yes, I mean I'm impartial in the whole thing. I just believe it's a harsh call. But I mean
Yeah.
the right call
Was made at the end of the
probably,
day.
probably, yeah, probably. But I just feel like it was a harsh call.
Yeah, look, from a Stormers perspective, yes, it was a harsh call. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, like number one is this, with the Stormers, let's start there. They had so many opportunities. On a different day, the Stormers bury all those chances
Yeah,
that they get, and it's a different game. But this time around, the Sharks, they had too much. Maybe how can I say the god of the Sharks? Let me say this actually. The god of the Sharks was working overtime this weekend, because the amount of opportunities that the Stormers butchered, some of them were just perplexing to say, and like this is not, but I think it just goes to show what's going on in the Cape. But then
but
on the other
yeah,
side of it,
because I'm on the other side of that take because yes, I will say the one that Helan dropped,
mm,
pure. That one was it was
yeah,
Hogwarts, it was Harry Potter. That one was
I
witchcraft. I
know,
don't know how
I
they made
know,
him drop the ball there,
I
but
know.
in terms of all the other chances, I almost feel like the Stormers are forced into kind of like throwing they're forced into rolling the dice and just playing
Yeah,
as and playing on that thin line of like you saw the fussy intercept,
yeah.
the Grant Williams almost intercept. It's like
Almost
because
intercept.
of
Yeah,
because of because of what they have, they're like forced to play on the edge.
yeah,
they're making those risky decisions which can pay off or they don't pay
or
off.
not. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. But I think for me, the concerning part is this. You know, South African Derby. Yes, look. I expected it to be like I said. Last week the Sharks was to sneak it by three. That was my.
Yeah,
And on the balance of it, when you look at it, yeah, they snuck it by three. Even though the scoreboard doesn't say it. They snuck that one. That one
yeah.
they. Hey, my man, I don't know how, but they did it, you know. But it doesn't paper over the issues, because even though there was good things that were happening with the Sharks, for the first, especially the first 60 minutes, you
Yeah.
know, but there was just those moments where you can see that no, these guys, if you're a better team, you can put them away. The Stormers just on the day will not, and that's why I'm saying I'm disgruntled in that sense. Is that yes, there were good things, a lot of good things. Let's
Yes.
not take away from that. There was a lot of good things, but those good things cannot paper over those things that will deny you a championship,
Yeah.
where you're letting a team back in, where it looks like you don't have you're a bit clueless with ball in hand, especially when you got the Stormers against the ropes. There's just so many where it just looked like it was just like, okay, we're in the 22. All right, guys, let's see. You go. Okay, you go. You take it up. And there wasn't. clarity in terms of, okay, right, we're in this position, this is what we do. We play like this, like that, and we get the score. It just, you know,
The thing is
those
also,
moments.
the thing is also, when did that come? Because that
Mm,
seemed to come when Masuku went off. And if we take it all the way back to the beginning, it was,
mm,
he's starting again. Sasha was also
mm,
starting again.
mm,
Masuku, there's a newspaper article that came out this week that said he's rumored to be one of the guys that's earmarked to play against Italy or whatever. But for him, I had been saying that these
was it
games
preseason?
before was like
Yeah,
preseason.
yeah,
And this
yeah.
this
I
this was
remember.
his best performance. So I mean, I agree with you in that sense that after he went off, they did lose a bit of direction. But
Mm,
from the other side, what I want to say is that the Sharks had the better of the Stormers on the ground. And
yeah,
that's where they were getting a lot of joy. But at the same
yeah.
time, they had Richardson, who is a number six. They've got Fenter, who's a number six, and they've got Kolisi, who's a number six. And then
Yeah,
they've got guys like Ox who can also chip in at the breakdown and get some steals.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when it came to the breakdown, that's where they were getting their success. Then what happens after
yeah,
that? Set piece. That's what led to the first try. Esterhazen
yeah,
hands, Masuku hands, Fasi taking there.
yeah. And
So
then,
it just seemed like that thing of breakdown, penalty, set piece, chance. Breakdowns.
yeah,
That's what was getting them the joy.
yeah, yeah. And quarters, I can't argue with that. It really was. And the thing is that the lack of consistency, in terms of the pressure applied. Okay, like I'll say, yes, it was a derby. It's a derby. You're only as good as the opposition allows you to play and things like that. Most the
Yeah,
what do they call them? The analogies or whatever. Yeah, they say that you're only as good as the opposition allows you to play and whatnot. But
yeah.
the fact that they weren't able to consistently apply that pressure and then also put these guys away solidly, considering that the gap, the lead that they built,
But also,
for
what
me,
contributed to that? No, you're correct. But what contributed to that was also the fact that the Stormers were disrupting them at line-out time, and then the Stormers
yeah,
were also disrupting them at scrum time. Scrum time, we know this Sharks pack. It's a bog pack. You got Ox, you got Koch. Vermaak was getting the better of Koch. Ali
to
Vermaak. Then
yeah,
they make
hey, look,
changes, and then
man.
they continue. Then now Brock Harris is troubling the next man. So that's also the thing here, where it's like that was also killing the Sharks' momentum in the fact that
Goes back to
they
what we were saying about the Sharks and all these teams. The next guys, because we are under
But these
this
were the main
illusion
guys.
that
These were the main guys. It was Ox and Cock, and
yeah,
Richardson were getting
but
troubled.
my view is here's what I'm thinking, quarters, or here's what I
Oh, and
believe
then
is that
Yakani came on, and it was even worse.
yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying is that up until that point, it was sort of the Sharks still maintained their control. There was that sense of no, as much as yes, the Stormers, they taking their shots, but the Sharks are still in control. And then when Koch went off, that's when now things started to sort of change. The picture started
Yeah,
to look very different at scrum time. So yeah, but at the end of the day, yes, we'll be happy with the result, but then there's just those other things where you can see that, yeah, if you find a better team, they'll exploit you and they'll put you away. It doesn't matter even if you have Springboks in your team, you know. That's
yeah,
for me, and look, I love the Sharks, but it's concerning, because we mustn't be fooled by champagne, when
yeah,
champagne is deceiving. It's deceiving because you're not looking at the real things here. You'll see all the nice
yeah,
stuff and say, yeah, 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 no, but this, that, and that. But the fact is that this Stormers team is not the same Stormers team that won URC. It's not the same Stormers team of before where you were like, hey, man, look, you're not. They just, they got it
yeah,
like that. It's not. And that's why I'm saying that, I agree with Mr. Mpumulelo that there's problems there, and they
yeah. I
soon,
think
if they don't fix, they'll be found out, and it won't be nice.
my thing is for me, especially we've noted the scrums already. Secondly, I felt like Richardson had a very good first half and then kind of like dwindled off.
Yeah.
And we know that, yes, he's going to give you that in gameplay. He was very good, but
Yes, he was.
he's not an out and out hooker. And we saw that when in
No.
terms of lineouts. So I think it's that thing of back to basics, get the lineouts right, get the scrums right. That's what's going to be on the
Yes.
board for this week.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to be. And just, being able to execute, you know.
Yeah, then we're going to see, especially moving forward now, competition. Obviously, Hendricks has come back from the box. Masuku's had a start, but now Masuku is the one that the power rankings week on week, it seems like Hendrickson was here.
Uh,
Now it seems like Masuku's edged him a bit. So just going to keep tabs on that. From a Stormers perspective, Sasha was back. Sasha was starting this time.
mm,
And I mean, he
mm.
came out, like we say, the Stormers came out running and gunning because that was the only way they were going to win this match.
Yeah.
They came close.
Yeah.
There was a save from Chituka in the beginning. Sasha hit that snap drop goal from 48 meters. But
Yeah.
at the same time for him, he took two big shots, one from Ox, one from Yakani, which eventually set him, back to the dressing room. It's unfortunate, but the injuries are something that seems to be lingering on with him.
Mm. Yeah. And look, I think, from, uh, look, Sasha is a good player. We see his qualities and all that stuff, but regardless, within the Stormers team, it's going to be difficult for even those type of players to have a maximum impact. So even if
Yeah.
he had continued, and I know because it's leading down the line of of Limburg. it's leading down the line of Limburg. So I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
there and just say, you know, then you get your both of them are Springboks, so let's just put it out there. But then you get your more experienced Springboks, so if you can put it like that. And hey, he's just got struggles, that guy. He's just got
But
struggles.
my thing,
But
my thing
the
is
other aspects is okay. But then it's just this one thing, this monkey that's on his back in terms of the goal kicking.
the goal
Where
kicking. I mean, the goal kicking for me wasn't a big issue in this game. I mean, he missed
mm,
one. Sasha also missed one in this game. My
yeah,
thing
yeah,
is
yeah,
he
yeah.
just wasn't tidy around the park. The ball was on the floor when you're trying to hit your man, but at the
Yeah,
same time, the intercept from Fasi. But at the same time, it's like you have to, like I said, they're rolling the dice and they're playing a very risky brand of rugby.
yeah, yeah.
And it's the same thing that you're seeing
They
with
do.
Geland,
Yeah,
that these
yeah.
guys they're chancing, they're taking
I know
chances,
they'll
and what?
take it.
Yeah. So it's gonna work, and it did work in some instances. It did. If
Yes.
you look at that Kalan chance where he dropped the ball, look at that pass that he made. It's the same pass that's
Yeah,
fired across a player that an intercept could come. There was another one,
yeah.
I can't remember which phase of play. Lubbock also hit another pass like that where you're playing on that fine line. And
Mm,
like I said, you're rolling the dice, and he was found out sometimes. I just feel like he wasn't tidy around the park, in terms of like the one clearance that led to
yeah,
Esterhazen. Uh, those are the main things for me. But in terms of
yeah.
like, I don't know what guys want me to say. He
Look,
didn't have a great game, but at the same time,
yeah.
I'm seeing people saying this is the worst game he's ever played.
Nah,
I
nah,
think
nah,
that's
nah,
a bit
nah,
of
nah,
an
nah.
overreaction.
No, no, no. That's an overreaction. Let's not do that, because obviously people are looking for a reason to say, yeah, you see, this is
Yeah,
why he mustn't play in the Springboks. This is why. No, no, it wasn't all bad performance because look, on a different day, the Sharks would have been cut up. Had the execution, the skill execution be better. On a different day, the Sharks would have been cut up. It just didn't, and it happens. It happens for a lot of teams. Where it doesn't work out. But yeah, I don't want to even talk too much about Libok because he'll bounce back. He'll bounce back. But overall, there's a lot of things to like in terms of the overall picture, the willingness of the Sharks, to run that counter attack from deep. and we saw
Yeah.
that. So there's a lot of good elements, from a Sharks perspective, but even also from the Stormers, as much as they're chancing it, there's a lot of
They almost got the
things.
results.
Yeah, they
So
did. They almost did. You understand? As bad as they were, and that's the freaky thing is that as bad as they were, they almost got that result against a Sharks team that was stacked.
yeah.
At which if you're a Sharks, if you're in the Sharks, you're thinking, yes, we got the win, but are you really happy? You cannot be, I'll just leave it there. You cannot be really and truly happy. There's good things, yes, but there's got to be they got to clean it up, especially going into what's this, the Champions Cup and all of that, So yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
just glad we got the results. But yeah, there's still things that you don't like there.
Yeah, again, from a Stormers perspective, I think Tennyson was much better playing at 8 than he was playing at 6. I think the front row, Dweba especially, I think Dweba was playing better. I think
Yeah,
it's basically him and Eka, I think, are the form hookers right now in South Africa. The only problem I have in terms of Dobbo can only do what he's doing with the players that he has, but I've never understood this thing of taking over front row that's dominating. And they did that
yeah.
at one stage when the guys that came in also did well, but it's like Hugo Fencer came in, he missed a few lineouts. It's just like if
Mm,
you have, I know these guys, they have the subs already planned. At 50 minutes, we're gonna bring on these guys. But if you're getting the ascendancy, surely you can just say, okay, no, let me just give them an extra 5, an extra 10,
yeah, let them
and just
play.
see where it goes. Just see where it goes.
Let them
That's the only
play.
thing I'll say. But
Yeah, okay, man, I
Stormers,
look. I mean, they still got. I'm not. They're not. It's not all doom and gloom,
yeah,
for them. But the thing is, they still got the guys. I mean, you see, even like Morabe came on. I think
yeah,
he had a good impact. The carries. Um, I think even like guys like Sazi Sandy. Like
mm,
it just looked a bit better. But equally, even on the other side, the Shocks. Guys like Pepsi, Chituka when he came on, Williams. There's, and that's what I was saying, from an overall perspective, there's a lot of good things to like from both sides, and with the bigger picture in mind from a South African rugby perspective. But at franchise level, you can't see both of these teams competing. If we're talking about EuroC, you can't see these teams challenging, to be in the knockouts or even trying to win,
yeah,
the cup. Like we've got to be honest with ourselves here. We don't. It doesn't look like it, because there's just those elements where you can see better teams will pick them apart, and they won't. There's no answer. There's
yeah.
no answer.
Yeah, moving on to the Bulls that should be in contention when it comes end of the season time. Bulls versus Connacht.
The buffet
Yeah,
bulls.
the buffet. That's the story of the week. Actually, is Jake White's comments about Moodie saying that he needs to stay away from the buffet while on Bok duty. Also, Willie Leroux seems like he's also leaving when his contract ends. So, but
Yeah,
Jake White obviously was that comment seemed to be the thing that's lingered on from the rest of the
yeah,
week. And I mean, to me, is Jake White being Jake White. There's
yeah.
people
It's
that
always been
support
that
the
way.
Bulls, and there's people that support the Bulls that no matter what Jake White says, they're gonna back him. No matter,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Then there's those people that it's fine that yeah, no, that he should stay away from the buffet and he is slower and is so there's always gonna be people on two sides of the fence. My thing is that's an in-house conversation. If you feel that way,
yeah.
tell him behind the scenes. The reason why you're doing it publicly is because you want to start something. You want the fan base to know something. You're saying it for a reason. You're saying it's not
Mm,
my fault, it's his fault.
yeah, I was saying not him. You know,
Yeah, so that's my thing as well, where it's like, and you're purposefully putting these things out there for the fan base to now, start something, to stir something. So we also need to understand why he's saying what he's saying.
yeah, yeah. Look, it's also that engagement as well, to get guys more invested,
Yeah,
and also it can also be that element of, I'm gonna say this, to try and to get more out of the player as well, So I think it's also a combination of a lot of things,
yeah,
that maybe he's trying to get that.
Trying to use
how can I
reverse
say?
psychology. That's very
Yeah,
80s of him. Very 80s of him. I don't think
but
players
he's an old guy.
respond.
You know
Yeah,
what I
he's an
mean?
old.
He's an old guy from those days, you know. So he's like, no, let me get in his head and say, no,
Yeah,
you are like this, because seemingly when Sia was called that he was fat and transparent and went to the box,
yeah.
he showed that he wasn't. So maybe Jake
Mm,
is also he's looking for something from Moodie, but also maybe there's a an underlying, maybe it's also indirect messages to other guys to say, you know,
yeah,
um, I see you guys at the buffet. You know what I mean? Like maybe, but I mean, all in all, I think Bulls solid enough performance
yeah.
against Connacht, and away from home as well, you know, to get that result. So it's a bit tough, but look, they got the result away, and that's what matters, you know?
Yeah, for me, it's in again, is that one of that thing, Connacht in the rain, entertainment value sometimes is not going to be the best, but the forwards fronted up, they showed up. Papier is Papier is almost like I take them as the forwards and Papier. They're like a band where he's the lead singer in the band. Like, they do the work, but he's the man that shines. You saw him snipe for
Is
the first
yeah,
try. And yeah, even Visa did so much in this game, and he's also one of the names that's been mentioned that may potentially be in the box setup against Italy. So I think he's since coming to the Bulls, he's reintroduced himself in the best way possible. And
yeah,
then I just think
yeah,
for me, it is handling errors from both teams kind of killed the contest a bit, and then Bulls' momentum also killed by their own soft errors. Sometimes they can be their own worst enemies, but I don't want to be too harsh because it was in difficult conditions. And then
yeah,
obviously the Moody moment where it was an end-to-end break. I think that also must be something that people realize is that it wasn't just a sprint one way. He had to go back on defense, almost a 200-meter, then go this
yeah,
way. And then the defender, it's not like a prop caught him. A wing caught him and he had the angle.
yeah.
I've never played wing myself, but I'm sure it
No,
just happens sometimes.
yeah, it does. Sometimes even the guy that's got gas, if you got the angle, it's
Yeah.
the timing thing, you know what I mean? So, you know, look, speed like for example like Bo Habana, you know, that
Yeah.
electric speed, Bo Kobe, that's like it's rare, you know. It's not everyone that's got that way and that's and that engine. So you know, the fact of the matter, you got to look at that work rate, you know.
Yeah.
You got to look at that work rate because if he was really not conditioned, he's not in that position. If he's not
Yeah.
conditioned, he's not in that position. You know what I mean? So you gotta say, no, where the other guys? You know, where the other
Where's the
where
support?
the other guys? You know, no,
Yeah,
where the
no,
other
that's a
guys?
good point. That's a good point. So
Yeah,
yeah, to me, for me, it happens. And like you said, we don't view him as a banner. Maybe there's people that did view him as a banner. They thought that this guy is lightning,
no,
but
he's not
I view
lightning
him
like
as
that.
a different type of winger. It's not like I'm saying he's slow, but he's just a different type of player. And
Yes, yes.
and I mean, we saw even for the intercept, how
Mm.
many how many meters was that breakaway intercept? No one's complaining about his speed then.
Exactly. Those what 50 something meters, you know? So come on, man. You know, must leave the kid alone, bro. Even if he likes buffet, man. His metabolism is fast, he's still young. You know, this kind of food, he doesn't see it every day, you know, like I man. Jake and Jay must just relax, honestly.
To be honest, I think is much ado about nothing. I don't
Yeah.
think there's much in it. Even Jake White himself, I've never been bigger. I tried to read Jake White's book. I know the book is about him, but I was like, no, my man, this is too much of you for me to handle. I can't. You're full of
Yeah.
yourself. I can't. The book
Yeah.
is about you, but it's too much about you. So,
You know, but that's just the kind of coach that he is, you know. I think, and it's always been since back then, you
yeah,
know, we've heard it there in the reports. We've seen even with the Sharks, when he
Yeah,
was at the Sharks.
AJ Fenter even coming out and commenting on our
And I
post
said,
saying,
"What?
this
Are you surprised?
are you surprised that this is the character?
It's
So
like what? So you know what? Yeah, but overall, I think for the Bulls, good result. You know,
yeah, good result there. Nice turnover by Hanukom there, getting it to Moody. Moody with the kick for Papier for that try. Then
mhm,
Gumede, the red. It was a red, that's all I'll say. It's just you've got to be careful who you play with. Sometimes you'll get
yeah,
burnt.
yeah, no, true. And look, again, good results, good luck position. You know, Um, yeah, so they can only I think as well, like I said, that reverse psychology element and also just
Yeah.
maybe trying to, get more out of these guys, because Glasgow and Leinster they're at the top. Still a long season, but I think good results away from home for the Bulls, man. Especially
Yeah.
after the break.
Yeah, I think next one, Munster versus Lions, the break killed a bit of Lions momentum there.
Yeah, yeah,
Even for me, this was also, I am a Lions supporter, but it was also a bit of a robbery in a sense. I don't think that the ref, I think he was not all there. I don't think he was all there. And then in terms of when Voliter got injured, poor form by Munster to run at his channel where he's injured with the physio. I don't. I think you're better than that. I think you're better than that. You don't have
yeah,
to do that. But I mean, you take it, you take it. I mean, the game is the game. That happens, that happens. The only thing I will say is that I don't even think Follett should have been on at that stage. You know,
yeah,
I'm not too sure what's going on with the whole Volatil thing starting over Nohamba, but he missed a few kicks for touch. I'm not gonna play one against the other because I like both of them as players. I just believe that
yeah.
the guy that was URC player of the season should be starting.
Man, he's
And
the international player of what for the Lions. I saw the other week.
yeah,
you know he's
and
got
then
he's
all of
got he's got the badges though.
yeah, then all of a sudden he's on the bench. So I'm not
Aye,
like I'm beginning to now think that this is something behind the scenes. So and I also don't feel like it's fair to put players in the position where they need to now rescue a game for you. You know,
yeah,
now you behind or you're just bringing him into a situation where it's harder to kind of ease you're not getting that room to ease into the game. So I believe,
yeah,
yeah, Hamba, we'll see this week. I know they sent 12 players back, so he's probably not even gonna play. Maybe he'll only play when it's time to play against the Stormers. But besides that, Van Veek, nice try. The Lions were, I think
yeah,
the Lions were in it the whole game. They were in it the whole game. It's just that those half chances they couldn't convert. It was just knocks here and there, and not a bad result. It's not a bad
it's
result. It's
not.
just you would have liked to get the win.
Yeah. No, look, you could I couldn't have said it better than that. Because it was there for them. It was
Yeah,
there for them. But it goes back to that same thing. I think we spoke about it even before this break about selection with the Lions. Selection. That's what will either propel them or hurt them. And right now, I don't think they're getting the selections right. Yes, I understand. Vulita is a good player. Not like he's good enough and everything like that. But
yeah,
the thing is, you gotta, especially you're away from home, and when you look at the end results, you're within bonus point range. So it means for me is that you could have most likely have won that game had you had better selection. You know,
yeah. And I
uh,
agree because JC Pretorius was also on the bench, and then you
yeah,
thinking
man,
that there was the breakdown was a big thing in this game, and then you've got a guy that's a breakdown specialist. I don't know if he was trying to
see,
go size. He went with the number seven that was from the Bulls and Kearns. I don't know if he was trying to go more size, but the breakdown was an issue.
mm,
We
mm,
needed someone there. So like you say, selection, but
yeah.
press on, still optimistic.
No,
We
no, no.
still,
Look, I still optimistic. If you look at the lock position, lock
yeah,
position doesn't lie. You know what I
yeah,
mean? The thing is, it's just that. this was for me, honestly, if there was an opportunity for the Lions to get a win away from home in
Yeah,
Ireland, you know,
yeah, this was it.
this was the one. This
Especially
was the
after they
one.
changed the coach, so
Yes. This was the
yeah,
one where they should have even it should have been like the result, even if the result was the other way around, 17-10 towards the Lions, you still take it, but
yeah.
the fact that they basically got so close, but no cigar. That's what's annoying about this Lions performance. And the thing is, like you say, the belief is still there. They can still do it, but yeah, man. It's a missed opportunity here.
Yeah, expecting to see a much changed team. They said 12 guys went home. They're gonna play Ospreys on Sunday. That's in the Europa League of rugby. Then we've got the Champions League of rugby, Sharks versus Exeter, Stormers
Hey,
versus Toulon, and then we've got an all South African affair, Saracens Bulls. Well, I think that's more the old Saracens than the new Saracens, but uh alas, I think it's be some good rugby being played this weekend.
yeah, it should be. It should be. It should be some good rugby. Um, looking at it, I think what is this? Yeah, Saracens Bulls. It'll be a bit. I think it'll be a bit tough. Especially because they're away. Sharks, Exeter.
Nah,
The
nah, I
Exeter.
believe. I believe in the
Yeah, you
Bulls. I
believe
believe in the
Bulls?
Bulls.
Okay. All right. I'll take that, quarters. I'll take that. Exeter and Sharks. Exeter, they can play that it can
Yeah,
be this one can be tit for tat, in terms of that attacking play, because they can play with that tempo. But if the Sharks just improve on their, and these guys, they're not used to coming down here. So, I think
yeah.
Sharks they can get that result.
And I think the Sharks will
Um
play a strong team as well.
Well, they'll have to.
Yeah.
They'll have to, because yeah, there's no other way. And then looking at the Lions, Ospreys, I think, yeah, look, they
Ah,
can
no,
they can
Lions are
pull
gonna
it.
lose. We're gonna lose
You
because they're
think
gonna
so?
rotate the team. Yeah, they're gonna rotate the team too much. I don't think they're gonna have continuity enough. And Ospreys, they've been decent over the past season and a half,
Yeah.
basically.
But it's a Sunday game. Maybe, bread of heaven, they'll be, you know.
Yeah, we'll be praying for the best. We'll be praying for the best. Then Stormers heading over to Eastern Cape. I think they'll do well there. I think they'll want to put on a show, especially because they're
They'll
not
have
playing in
to.
their traditional home.
Yeah, they'll have to actually, because yeah, like I think they need to sort of try and get their own confidence back as well.
Yeah.
The Stormers, but yeah, good fixtures coming up and URC's back.
Any closing remarks from you?
Look, all I want to say is that I won't be fooled by fool's gold. I won't be fooled by that. I won't be. And which team I'm directing that to. So yeah.
That's it from us, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.